Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us for this Community College Showcase. Today, we are going to start with a panel talking about what are the benefits and the characteristics of community colleges. And then we'll start the showcase. We have 32 community colleges with us. And we are so happy that you are joining us and learning about these opportunities to study in the United States. This session is going to be recorded, and when the panel ends, we'll give you instructions to join the rooms where the showcase will take place. We have 2 Zoom links, so you can join the presentations. So before we start with the panel, I just will like to explain very quickly for those who don't know us, what is Education USA? We are a global network of advising centers from the US State Department. We are the official source of US higher education. We offer accurate, comprehensive, and current information about the full range of accredited US higher education institutions, and all our services are free. We work with these 5 steps to help students find a university. So we start with researching your options. There are more than 4,000 institutions in the United States. And today we are just going to talk about the community college. It's a type of US institutions. We also provide information on financing studies and help you to find scholarships and financial aid opportunities. We help students to complete the application, apply for the visa once students are accepted, and also we provide services to prepare for your departure. So today we have with us 4 experts in community colleges. Maria Dietrich, I don't think I pronounced your name, Maria, well, but you can correct us later. She supports international students applying to study intensive English and associate degree programs at Northampton Community College. She believes strongly in the opportunity of international education because of her personal experience living and working abroad. María enjoys working with the students to achieve their educational goals. Y ella habla español. Connor Leach is an international specialist at Sinclair Community College, working with F1 visa students in the areas of recruitment, admissions, enrollment, and international programming. Prior to his time at Sinclair, he worked in economic development in Washington, D.C., covering Central Europe and the Western Balkans. He was the recipient of a Fulbright English teaching assistant in Sofia, Bulgaria in 2015, and lived, worked, and studied across Europe and Eurasia. Connor holds a bachelor's in Slavic languages and literatures from Indiana University and a master in global studies and international relations from Northeastern University. Joel Serrano is an admission specialist with the International Student Program at San Jose's College in Silicon Valley in California. He supports students and families from around the world to start their studies in the US. At San Jose City College, previously he taught English around the world, and he earned a bachelor's degree in communications from Boston University and has studied at Seoul National University, University of Costa Rica, and the University of Oslo. And last but not least, Janice Thomas has served as director of the International Education Center at Brookdale Community College since August 2007. Her responsibilities include directing the college internationalization efforts through promoting study abroad, international student services, and curriculum integration initiatives. Prior to joining Brookdale, she worked at the University of New Orleans when she served as a director of the Office of International Students and Scholars. She received a bachelor's degree in psychology from Moravian College in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, a master's degree in educational policy and leadership from The Ohio State University, and her PhD in educational administration. And also here with us is Juan Manuel Molina. He is the advisor for Chiapas and Tabasco. And now I will let Juanma to continue with the panel and asking questions to our panelists today. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much, Elvira, for those great introductions, and thank you so much to our panelists for being here with us today and helping us, all of us, learn a little bit more about community colleges. So we have some questions for you today, and the specific topic of who goes to community college, what is a community college, and let's start with that. And if I may start with Dr. Janice, if you may help us to understand a little bit of what is a community college. It may be a concept that is not really sometimes familiar for Mexican students. So could you please help us understanding a little bit that? You're muted.
Thank you. Thank you for that. May I share my screen?
Yes, please.
To answer that question, yes. Okay, great. I think this will help.
Go ahead.
So a community college here in the US was initially created to serve members of the local community, but like all community colleges around the US now, really the world is our community. So we are always eager to engage with international students and encourage them to attend our institutions. But the mission of a community college in the US is threefold: to provide affordable access to high quality education and training. And whether it's Northampton or Brookdale or any of the panelists on this session, that's generally what our mission is about, to provide an affordable education that is accessible to you as an international student and that is high quality. And the roles of a community college: we provide foundational studies courses, including English as a second language. And of course, we offer certificates, short-term training programs, but international students are most interested either in our ESL programs or our associate degree programs. And community colleges offer a couple of different types of associate degrees. We offer degrees that lead to employment, such as career, technical, and vocational degrees. And these are the Associate of Applied Science. And then we offer associate degrees that lead for opportunities to transfer to a 4-year college or university to continue your studies for the baccalaureate degree, the bachelor degree. So these are the Associate of Arts or the Associate of Science degree. So here in the US, high school students really have two options. They can attend a university straight away after completing secondary school, or they can go to a community college. And at the community college, they will take the same courses in the first 2 years that they would take at the university. But the result is the same. The students obtain their bachelor degree. And I think I have one more slide here that just covers some of the top reasons to attend a community college, but I won't spend so much time on this because I think with the other questions that our moderator will ask, we'll get to some of the great reasons why you might select a community college.
Yeah, we may come back to this one.
Okay.
But yeah, thank you so much for that informative answer. It helps us, for those of us who are visual, to see then where this goes. And interesting also, if I may, Joel, continue with you in terms of affordability. When our students are looking into that, can international students, we also learn about this word becas, right? For in Spanish, that had to do with scholarships. Can international students receive financial aid or scholarships at community colleges?
Yeah, I usually like to point out the difference between a financial aid and federal financial aid, which unfortunately most international students are not able to receive if you need a visa to study in the US. Usually you don't receive financial aid, federal financial aid. However, many schools are now offering some types of scholarships, and especially at the transfer point when they're ready to transfer, it may be possible to receive more scholarships. But one thing, as Janice pointed out, is that we strive to keep our tuition as affordable as possible. So we strive to keep it as low as possible. So even when I share with students, when you're looking at schools and you may need a scholarship, to make sure you understand the final price you must pay, because often our tuition may still be even lower after receiving that scholarship from a private university, for example, or in California, University of California, schools are quite pricey. So even if you were to receive a scholarship, your family still may be expected to contribute to your education and to provide some funding for your education. So no, not really for financial aid. Scholarships are becoming more common, and yeah, we're still advocating for that at our school, especially for new students. For continuing students, we do offer some scholarships, but not really. And then the second benefit, but having a scholarship, related to finances, is that with the F1 visa, you are eligible to work in the US. So that's what really helps a lot of our students to help contribute to their funding their education, is by getting a part-time job either on campus in their first year or later off campus to help supplement their family contribution.
Interesting. And I've also seen, I think you mentioned a little bit of this. I've also seen specific scholarships that go into what you will do in once you transfer, right? For example, sometimes some of the institutions where community colleges have agreements, some of those scholarships will go further into their third or their fourth year, right? When they decide to continue their bachelor's degrees.
Yeah, because then the price significantly jumps usually when you go to your bachelor's degree studies, usually at least double. So there are more opportunities for scholarships and transfer scholarships. And if you do well academically, hopefully you can get some academic scholarships, or just based on the way exactly as you're saying, what subject you study, there may be more opportunities that you can find. And then that kind of also relates to getting the smaller class sizes and connecting with professors and instructors. Usually at community colleges, the classes are taught by PhD instructors who can hopefully, if you develop a strong relationship, they may be able to guide you and provide you a good reference for that scholarship committee or for that when you're applying to that next level of studies.
Awesome. Thank you, Joel, for that. If I may continue with Maria for our next question that has to do with who goes to a community college? What is that? We many times we talk about the best fit when students are looking into institutions. What is the profile of a student that gets into community college or that is looking into a community college? Are you able to unmute yourself? No. Let's see. Alvita, can you help us double check if?
Okay, now can you hear?
Yes, we can hear you.
Perfect. Thank you. So students who come to community colleges are very diverse. We have students who are 16 or 18 years old, all the way to senior citizens. So we have some people, are coming right from high school. Others are coming to community college to maybe change careers. And like Janice mentioned, for international students, some are starting at community college to study intensive English first, because they will need English proficiency, English skills to study in any associate's degree program. So it's great if you need a little extra English practice, you can start here. Or if you're already prepared for academic classes, you can start here as well. Some students start at community college as a way to improve their grades before they transfer to a university. For example, a student who wants to apply to a very competitive university that requires high grades, high test scores, maybe right after college, the student is not prepared for that university, for their requirements, but they could start at community college, improve their grades, and if they have a strong grade point average, then they could transfer to a more competitive four-year college or university. Also, I think, the profile of community college students, I think a benefit of attending community college is that we have smaller class sizes. So you're getting more attention in your classes. Like you as a student are able to participate in class more, ask more questions, and really get to know your professors and your classmates, the other students. So you do not feel lost in a large classroom with hundreds of students. Community colleges, many of our classes only have 20, 25 students in them. So I think that's another benefit. And the last thing I'll add is community colleges provide access to education, like Janice mentioned earlier. So we have classes to support students who might need to start in a lower level math class, such as elementary algebra, all the way to advanced calculus classes. We have all of those classes in between to support students no matter where they need to start.
Thank you so much. And it came to me when you were talking, Maria, is that so many times when we think of, for example, state universities, where those big classes of 200, 300 students, is it something that is similar in the setting of community colleges, or in general, community colleges are smaller classes? Maybe back to you again, Maria, just to follow up.
Yeah, in general, they are much smaller class sizes at community colleges. I know at Northampton, our average class has, I think, about 25 students in it. So some classes are even smaller than that. You'll have even like a class like biology or chemistry that you might see at a state university with 300 students in the class. At a community college, it will typically be much smaller than that.
All right, thank you. And that being one of the advantages that we're talking about, but Connor, can you also tell us a little bit more, what other advantages can you tell us about for attending a community college?
Sure. So as Janice said earlier when she was talking about kind of the origins of community colleges, a lot of them started out working mainly with the local community. And so there are a lot of local ties at community colleges. So it's a good way for you to meet local businesses, to get to know the local culture a little bit better. As we talked about a lot already, they also usually have smaller class sizes. As Maria talked about, her class sizes were somewhere around 25. Ours are also somewhere in that range, 20, 25. So compared to larger universities, you're going to get a lot more attention at a community college. But the other good thing about a community college is, just like Joelle said earlier, the professors there and the resources there are sometimes even similar to a four-year school. So for example, you're going to get professors who are PhDs who really know their subjects. You're going to have access to a lot of resources. So even though the class sizes are smaller, you're still going to get that big school feel, and that you're going to have access to a lot of different resources at the community college. And then finally, just kind of going off of what Maria said earlier, community colleges are also very diverse. So if you want to see a huge cross-section of American society, you're going to get that at a community college. So you're going to meet all sorts of different Americans in your classes, from young to old, from different economic situations. So it's a really good way to get to know American culture better.
Can
Thank you. Yeah, please.
Can
Yes.
I add one more thing for that, to add to what my colleagues have suggested, have said already? Well, two things. Also, in addition to high quality teaching and support services, there's really great co-curricular activities, opportunities to join clubs and organizations that are social in nature or academic in nature, as well as athletic programs. So if students are proficient in a sport, community colleges offer those kinds of experiences as well. And one other point that all of us like to stress when we're engaging with students is that at the conclusion of the associate degree, you are eligible to apply for 1 year of optional practical training. And so in between your associate's degree and completing your bachelor's degree, you have this additional year where you can get practical experience. And then when you complete your bachelor's degree, you have another year of practical training that is available to you. So beginning your education at the community college provides additional opportunities to get practical experience related to your field of study.
Mm-hmm. If I might continue with you, Dr. Janice Thomas, you mentioned about support systems, and I think that community college are very, for the students that you're trying to serve, there may be different support systems that some students might not be able to find in other schools. Can you, so maybe helping design students about their career, what they want to do with their lives, or things like that. So can you expand a little bit more on that?
Yeah, absolutely. All of our institutions are really focused on being student-centered. That's really the hallmark of the culture of the community college. And so on a community college campus, you will find advisors who can help you with career choices. There will be a career center that has an online jobs database. They will help you to prepare your resume so that it is appropriate for the American cultural context. You have academic advisors who will help you to choose your classes. And I guess I should start at the beginning. We will provide you with orientation. Even before you arrive to our campuses, you will have a lot of resources to help you select your classes and choose your classes. We'll explain how you can pay. And then there are academic advisors to work with you throughout your academic career. And if you need to change your major, that's fine. These folks are there to help you. Any questions that you have about what can I do with this major? I want to major in criminal justice. I want to major in business. I want to major in data science. What kinds of opportunities are available to me? So there are support staff that are focused on you, the student, to help guide you throughout your entire academic journey. And then as part of this process, if you're choosing to continue your studies, there are advisors who will help you identify where you would like to transfer, whether it be to a school where your institution has a particular articulation agreement, or to any college or university in the US and even abroad, right? So the support staff and the support structures that we have in place at the community college, I think are really, really set us apart from a lot of other universities.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, we're getting close to the end of our panel. I would like to really ask also a couple of other questions. Joel, can you tell us a little bit about the admission requirements then? We talk about benefits, but then if I want to attend, what are some of those requirements that community colleges in general ask for students?
Yeah, most community colleges have a very open admissions policy, meaning we try to keep the requirements as minimal as possible. If you're motivated and ready to continue your education, your higher education, we're here to support and help you achieve your educational and professional goals. So most community colleges require completion of high school studies and/or 18 or the equivalent of high school from your home country. So now we see students graduating a bit younger and younger from some countries because they're completing different IGETSs or different pathways to the equivalent of a high school degree. So that's just one of the main requirements. And then I think, as Maria mentioned, your courses will be primarily in English. So most colleges have an English proficiency requirement. Because we want you to succeed in the courses, not just just because you don't speak English. I'm sure you can do well in the courses if they were in your native tongue, but they're also kind of expensive. So we want to make sure that we're setting you up for success when you do start your academic program. So many colleges have either, we have language school partners where students can study full-time English first before transferring to us, or if you can pass a test such as IELTS, TOEFL, now more common Duolingo. If you can get that minimum score, that will gain you admission to that community college. And then almost all schools have the immigration financial aspects of the requirements. So showing that you'll have the financial means to support yourself for one academic year to live and study in the US. And that can vary from school to school. I live in California, Silicon Valley, so it's quite expensive. The cost of living is quite expensive and housing is quite expensive. So our estimated cost might be a bit higher than some other places in the US. So just finding the right school and the best fit for your background for that to meet that requirement that you have the funding necessary to study in the US so that you can be hopefully approved for your F1 visa. And then it's just a passport for us, or your passport picture if you haven't gotten your passport yet. But those are the main requirements for our college. Oh, and finally, then your academic transcripts connected to your high school completion. If you have studied any higher education, we are seeing more and more students who have a bachelor's degree from their home country interested in starting at the community college level in preparation for their master's degree, or if they want to change their careers. So we just have to make sure that you're studying something that will help you achieve your educational and professional goals.
Thank you, Joel, for that. And continuing with Maria and this open admission idea, then if it's open admission, and why should I then try hard in high school if I'm a high school student, right? And continue to try to do a competitive grades and all the things that I need to get ready if I'm considering a community college. What is your opinion on that?
Sure. So it's always best to work hard and perform to the best of your ability. So for example, your question is good, but a student should be successful in high school so that, they are passing their courses, they're getting good grades, as good as they can, so that when they get to community college, they're going to be starting in a certain level math class or a certain level English class, depending on how they performed in high school. So if you're doing your best in high school, that means you're going to be starting in the next level in community college. You study there for 4 semesters, and we're going to help you prepare to transfer to a university, which is even more competitive to get into. And also, any interests or activities that you're involved in high school. Someone mentioned earlier, if you're on a sports team or if you were in the business club, you can build on that when you get to community college. Join one of those clubs, join one of those groups. You'll find other students who have the same interest as you, and you can, if you want, you can even have like a leadership role in one of those clubs or activities to prepare you for a university eventually if you do want to transfer.